Hello and welcome back to my channel, Chess Captures Threats. Today's video, we're going to be going over the Stonewall Attack. This is part of the Learn the Openings. This is for white, not black, as you may be confused due to the Dutch having this sort of idea. You can play it obviously for black and for white here, and I'm just going to show you the white variation as we haven't gone over this yet. And it's something that a load of people don't really know about, and obviously it is a system, so it doesn't need so much theory. So, let's go through straight away what the move order for us is going to be. Just for us, we're going to have, because it's the Stonewall, our classic d4, e3, f4 and c3, these sort of zigzag of pawns. Then we're going to have our bishop on d3, London-like, and also going to have stuff like knight f3 and castling. So, other than that, I think you don't need to worry about the other pieces yet, but these are the core moves, and I'm just going to show you the typical starting sequence so you can picture this straight away. So d4, d5, then we're going to have e3, knight f6, then we're going to have f4, e6, then bishop d3, c5, c3, knight c6, knight f3, bishop d6, and then both are going to castle. So this is, in my opinion, a very nice structure, but there's a few pros and cons to this. So you've got a lot of centre. Obviously, you're attacking this e5 square. Obviously, they're also attacking the e4 square, but you're very balanced in the centre. You're not, giving away the centre or anything. You've already got this pawn push compared to black. You've already got this f pawn pushed, which is why later on we talk about the kingside attack to this. But I would also say, this pawn could always have some sort of capture. For example, this could always do something, and maybe it might cause something later on if the position's a little bit closed. But also, you have a nice way to get your queen out. The only things that are trouble here is this knight will struggle to get out. Same with this bishop. This bishop you'd have to do this, and then also this knight you'd have to put at least here and maybe up here without trying to get forked. So with the pawns, obviously, as we've said here, this creates, obviously, kind of like this almost defense from anything, because obviously, they're protecting each other here almost, and, it's a very weird attack how, they're covering all of these sort of squares around them. But also, this is good for attacking, so when this knight, we're able to get away, we're able to push, g4 and g5 because of this pawn, and we're able to get some other pieces like here. So for the main ideas for white, with the attacking plans, we're obviously going to have a kingside attack. The kingside attack is where we get the f4. It's the whole point. There's no point in attacking queenside. We've got no pieces over there. So we'd have to do that. Now, the knight here, this knight, often goes to e5, and that's sometimes due to maybe getting something like this. And now, as you can see, this will close out. Well, this will be full, but this will obviously have some sort of mistake here. Maybe you can do this now and get a rook lift, and this will be very good for white. So you also have, as I needed there, the rook to f3 to h3 a push. This is a rook lift here, and the reason for this is after we try and get our queen to h5, that's also quite good. Now if you don't want to get the queen to h5, also f3 and e2. e2 is a very defensive approach. You could maybe try and go f2 and then h4 if you wanted, but this is more defensive. f3 is kind of like the rook lift, and maybe trying to go in line with the king just a bit slower. So what are the strengths of the Stonewall? Now, in my opinion, it's incredibly easy to learn, as this video will at least give you the idea of it. Again, as I've said in many videos before, watch another video from someone else just to get the core into this. If you can't find loads of it, then, Google anything and it will come up. And it has some very strong attacking themes, this. Obviously, with the idea of this push, has the idea of this, getting the queen out. There's a lot we can do. And it's the same setup. This setup can go against many different defenses here. This knight could be over here. This queen could already be out. This bishop could have been Franchetto. They could have castled queenside for all we know. So, and I would say this is good for, I would say rapid or blitz. Probably not bullet. I think this would slow you down a bit too much. Unless you properly know it inside out, I think you could struggle just to try and get your pieces around these pawns. But Blitz and Rapid, maybe not Classical as well, not like those hour-long games. We aren't going to be, it might take too long to try and figure out some things, and it might just get into a draw with the best play. Now, what are the weaknesses? So obviously, as I pointed out, the e4 square is very weak. This bishop here, this dark square bishop, is often quite bad until probably later on in the game. But we can do a few things to stop that. Queen e2 obviously can help for a push like this, for example. And then it obviously just opens up. If we was just able to get this, for example, then there might be some sort of way later on to push this pawn. And now this is open, for example. So we could do that. But also, if this attack fails, this whole push here, the knight coming in, the queen and that, it could be quite a bad endgame for us, because all of our pieces obviously put on one side. Our queen side, we've kind of sacrificed over here. But also, there's just a lot going on here. We might get too confused. We might lose pieces. We might, get everything blocked in. It's very difficult to try and do that. Now, what are some of the setups it's best against? This can be played against a few things. Obviously, the Queen's Gamma declined. This is kind of the one we've got over here. The semi-Slav, so imagine this pawn just with one back, and the French-like structure. So very similar to this again, because this is French-like as well, with the fact you've got e6, d5, and c5. So that is it for the Stonewall Attack. So we know it now as black, we know it now as white. I don't actually can tell you which one's better, white or black's version, as they're very similar. They're practically the same, obviously. But I think white has a little bit, obviously being white going first, having all of the moves ahead, I would say that this could create a quicker attack if you wanted one. And maybe, we have obviously this defense against it. You wouldn't see in white doing this when they had the Stonewall. So, hope you enjoyed today's video. So, thank you and bye-bye.